The following is a serious video about anti-Asian hate. I will link some charities below for those of you who want to help the cause. This is going to be a more serious video. I've decided to do this as I feel we need to raise more awareness. As some of you already know, Asians have received a lot of unacceptable hate, and I feel like I need to talk on it, so enjoy. It's sad that it had to go this far for something to happen. I'll be honest, I'm very disappointed in the human race. I know we can do more better than this. Why we refuse to support our fellow people, I'll never know. Enough of me talking, let's get into the video.
Anti-Asian racism is deadly, it's real, it is growing stronger and more powerful.
America was rocked by another mass killing this week when at least 8 people were killed in shootings at 3 massage parlors in Atlanta.
We should be treating hate crimes as such. And make no mistake, these women were targeted on the basis of their race. Some of these incidents were not treated as hate crimes, and that's unacceptable. The people in the Asian American community know that we are being targeted.
The attack comes amid a backdrop of growing violence against Asians.
We need to stand as one. And we will. We cannot sit down and let this happen. We must fight for our rights. For each other's rights.
Justice!
We deserve justice.
Justice!
And justice
It's
we shall
unbelievable that
have.
we have to keep doing this. It's
We
embarrassing
shall
for our
triumph as our
nation.
nation.
And if we have to be violent, we have to be violent. But I definitely roll
We will
with
look
peace.
back at this day
Because
and
they say a
laugh.
COVID virus, is supposed to keep us in the house. That's not going to keep anyone in the house when people are
We
being
will and
killed,
shall
when
live in
people are being
harmony.
slaughtered.
Don't shoot!
Stop the
We
unfairness.
appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Get us some
Before you
water.
act, think.
DJ Hollywood Reds.
We must stop racism as a whole. Future generations deserve peace. And they will get peace.
Take your knee off our necks! 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 Take your knee off our necks!
You heard the people. Take your
Systemic
knees on their
racism
necks.
is really like a knee on the back of your neck.
Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot!
Somebody could steal my car, take my money. I won't be calling the police. I never have, I never will. Even with my son as a police officer, I need to fix my problems. And my biggest problem now
People
is
shouldn't
racism
have to
in
live
this
in
country.
fear.
So that's why I'm out here trying to fix it.
Does your son know that you're here?
And they won't.
I think he does. As a father and a black man, I know that when he's driving in a car and he's not in uniform, he will be treated as a black man before he's treated as a police. The pulling out his badge could be the end of his life because they think it's a gun. So, I think he's aware of that, but I hope he knows. So good to see so many white people here. I'm glad I came.
We don't get it!
Shut it down!
If we don't get it!
Shut it down!
If you don't get it!
Shut it down!
Veterans for!
Black Lives Matter!
Veterans for!
Black Lives Matter!
Veterans for!
As a group of veterans, we served our country. We will not stop serving our country even after our duties are done. I did serve in the Air Force, and I feel that the world needs to know that veterans are here to support Black lives as well. Doesn't matter to me what else is going on in my life. This is what's going on in my life. Me and my best friend were walking out there protesting, and then I heard drums. I'm from Zambia, I'm African, I'm a dancer. So once I hear drums, that's my call. It's an outlet for me. I still have to hold it together in the workplace and pretend like, not pretend, but not be able to show it, that it's hurting me and affecting me and my family and those around me.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot you!
This is Jamal. Jamal is a boy who lives in a poor neighborhood. He has a friend named Kevin, who lives in a wealthy neighborhood. All of Jamal's neighbors are African American, and all of Kevin's neighbors are white. Because Jamal's school district is mostly funded by property taxes, his school is not very well funded. His classrooms are overcrowded, his teachers are underpaid, and he doesn't have access to high-quality tutors or extracurricular activities. Kevin's school district is also funded by property taxes, so his school is very well funded. His classrooms are never crowded, his teachers are very well paid, and he has access to high-quality tutors and lots of extracurricular activities. Kevin and Jamal live only a few streets away from each other. So how come they're growing up in such different worlds with such different opportunities for success? The answer has to do with America's history of systemic racism. To understand it better, let's look at what life was like for Kevin and Jamal's grandparents. Decades after the Civil War, many government agencies started to draw maps dividing cities into sections that were either desirable or undesirable for investment. This practice was called redlining, and it usually blocked off entire black neighborhoods from access to private and public investment. Banks and insurance companies used these maps for decades to deny black people loans and other services based purely on race. Historically speaking, owning a home and getting a college education is the easiest way for an American family to build wealth. But when Jamal's grandparents wanted to buy a house, the banks refused because they lived in a neighborhood that was redlined. So Jamal's grandparents were not able to buy a home, and because colleges could prevent them from attending through legal segregation, their options for higher education were really scarce. Kevin's grandparents, on the other hand, got a low-interest loan to buy their first house and got accepted into a handful of top universities, which traditionally only accepted white students. This opened up a wealth of opportunities that they were able to pass on to their kids and grandkids. Even as late as the 1980s, an investigation into the Atlanta real estate market showed that banks were more willing to lend to low-income white families than to middle or upper-income African-American families. As a result, today, for every $100 of wealth held by a white family, black families have $5.04. A 2017 study confirms that redlining is still affecting home values in major cities like Chicago today. This explains how Kevin and Jamal inherited vastly different circumstances. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end there. A big part of systemic racism is implicit bias. These are prejudices in society that people are not aware that they have. Let's go back to Kevin and Jamal. Against all odds, Jamal manages to be the only student from his high school to get accepted into a great university, the same one that Kevin and his high school friends are attending. But after Kevin and Jamal both graduate, Jamal notices that his resume isn't drawing as much interest as Kevin's, even though they graduated from the same program with the exact same GPA. Unfortunately for Jamal, studies show that resumes with white-sounding names get twice as many callbacks as identical resumes with black-sounding names. Implicit bias is one of the reasons why the black unemployment rate is twice the rate of white unemployment, even among college graduates today. You can see evidence of systemic racism in every area of life. The disparities in family wealth, incarceration rates, political representation, and education are all examples of systemic racism. Unfortunately, the biggest challenge with systemic racism is that there's no single person or entity responsible for it, which makes it very hard to solve. So what can you do? The first thing you can do is work towards becoming more aware of your own implicit biases. What are some prejudices that you might hold that you're not aware of? Second, let's acknowledge that the consequences of slavery and Jim Crow laws are still affecting access to opportunity today. As a result, we should support systemic changes that create more equal opportunities for everyone. Increasing public school funding and making it independent from property taxes would be a great start, so that poor and wealthy districts can receive equal access to resources. Systemic problems require systemic solutions. Luckily, we're all part of the system, which means that we all have a role to play in making it better. Peace.
A message from Arthur.
I gotta call Buster. Hey, Arthur. Hey, Buster. Did you see that video?
Yeah, I just watched it. It was awful. I can't believe someone would be hurt like that just because they're black.
Racism is so unfair. No one should ever judge someone by the color of their skin.
But how could it happen here, in Elwood City, right outside the Sugar Bowl?
Buster, it happens everywhere. I was talking to Mrs. McGrady the other day. She said there's a really long history of black people not being treated fairly in this country.
It has to stop.
We have to do something.
Yeah! But what can we do? I mean, I'm 8. I can't even fry an egg on my own.
I don't know. Maybe Mrs. McGrady can give us some ideas. Hold on.
Hello, boys. I'm so glad you reached out to me.
Yes, I saw the video too. And let me tell you, it made my blood boil.
Me too!
It also made me scared. I mean, this happened in our neighborhood.
It is scary, Buster. But you should know that a lot of grown-ups are fighting racism and working hard to keep us all safe.
Why does this keep happening, Mrs. McGrady?
Well, racism is like a disease. If you don't treat it, it's just going to get worse.
Wait, if racism is a disease, can I get it?
Buster, don't worry. This isn't about you.
Actually, it is. It's about all of us. It's not enough to just say, I'm not racist. It's not my problem. We have to actively fight against racism. As my friend John Lewis once said, if you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have a moral obligation to do something about it.
So, what can we do?
Well, one of the most important things is what you're doing right now.
Eating carrot sticks?
I mean, talking about it. Talk about racism with your friends, your parents, your teachers. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We all have a lot to learn about this issue. Also, listen. Listen to people who have experienced racism firsthand. Imagine what it would be like if it happened to you or someone you love. And finally, act. When you see or hear of someone being treated unfairly, stand up for them. Say something. It might be scary, but I guarantee you it's better for everyone, and it's the right thing to do.
Wow! You really inspired me.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. McGrady.
I'm going to talk with my parents about this right now. Hey, Mom!
Me too. Bye.
Whoa, that's it. I was just getting going. Remember, kids, talk, listen, and act. If we work together, we can make a difference. And eat those carrots, too.
Well, Christian, from the start of lockdown to last month, there were more than 3,800 anti-Asian American incidences here in the US, up 25% from the year before. As simply put, people looked around for someone to blame for the coronavirus and settled on the Asian community. Koreans, as you mentioned, Thai people, not just Chinese, encouraged, of course, by Donald Trump and his anti-China rhetoric. And nowhere are those numbers more stark than here in New York, where the number of incidences against Asian Americans rose a whopping 588% in the past year alone. No wonder many of the people we spoke to here over the past few days have told us they are now simply too scared to go outside.
We're fighting two battles here, the pandemic and also the hate crimes.
It's 6 a.m. and Natty, a student doctor in New York, is on her way to work. She normally takes the shuttle bus, but after being attacked on the street, she's now too scared to go out alone, so takes a taxi instead.
He kicked me and dragged me across the pavements, and I was bleeding, bruised, and crying out for help.
Just repeat again what he called you.
He called me Chinese virus.
She and hundreds like her in the wake of the pandemic have been subject to unprovoked assaults, punching, shoving, spitting, kicking, even being set on fire. All part, they claim, of a huge spike in Asian American hate crimes in the past year. Up more than 100% in America's largest cities, particularly New York.
It's in our war against the Chinese virus.
And with language like that, some say it's no wonder that Asians of all backgrounds, not just Chinese, are being targeted.
The Chinese virus.
And every time Trump would say that, you know, my heart would just sink. It emboldened racists, right? It was permission. The person who holds the highest office in the country is saying this is who the blame goes to. The consequences were inevitable.
And yet, she says, it wasn't until 8 people, 6 of them Asian American women, were gunned down in Atlanta last week that the issue was finally catapulted to front and center stage.
It is our nightmare realized, and I think that's why we're angry. We've been saying something horrific is going to happen.
People are saying Atlanta wasn't necessarily an Asian American hate crime, that it was a crime principally against women.
I'm so angry by that response He ended up killing the Asian workers. I mean, how much more of a hate crime is that?
Part of the problem is that hate crimes are notoriously difficult to prove, and lack of trust in the police means incidences in the Asian community are typically underreported. The culture to keep your head down and not complain.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
And quite frankly, I'm scared I'm gonna get beaten up again.
Natty's parents wanted her to keep quiet after she was left battered and bruised by her attacker. A month on, she's still traumatized, but is determined to speak out.
This deep, unspoken pain awoke inside of me, a pain that many within the Asian American communities had to hide in the past, and I think it's really important to share that this is happening to our community.
Even Asian Americans who haven't experienced attacks are scared. In New York's Chinatown, a combination of COVID and fear has the streets half empty.
Right now it's rush hour, and this is usually the time when it's so busy here. People are grabbing food for dinner, people are grabbing groceries to go home to cook. And as you see, we're walking by 5 storefronts that are closed down, and my staff have told us that they are more fearful of getting beat up by a stranger than they are of catching COVID.
Just around the corner, we meet Sherry and her auntie Carol, rushing to buy dinner so they can get home safe.
You know, we're nervous, you know, you don't know when someone is going to hurt you or hurt you, you know. You never know, right? When we go out, sometimes we have to left and right, see someone is following you, you know. Like after 4, right, we have to leave Chinatown.
So after 4 o'clock?
Yeah, you know.
Before dark?
Before dark,
yeah.
With takeaway in hand, they're off, hurrying through the streets. We're human beings like everyone else, Sherry says. We just want to live a normal life. But in the midst of a pandemic and with race attacks on the rise, life for many Asian Americans feels anything but.
Thank you for watching. Share with your friends and family. To spread awareness together we can make a change. Thank you.